So today, Pokemon Unite's patch 1.14.1.4 just came out. There are some really nice nerfs, some really nice buffs, and a lot of bug fixes which we are going to go through. So let's just get this started. Alright, let's get right into the patch notes. The very first character we're going to be talking about is Glaceon, which has had two of its moves nerfed. The very first one is Ice Shard, since its attack speed has been decreased from 75% to 60%. Icicle Spear Plus has also been nerfed, since the remaining HP damage has been decreased from 1% to 0.5%. Alright, so here's the deal with Glaceon. Glaceon is a character that had insane presence on whichever lane it was played in, just because it had a sure hit move that did way too much damage. These nerfs are more than welcome because they're going to help us make it a little bit more manageable. Now, how bad were nerfs? Well, we're gonna have to see as we play, but I think this was a really good change. Alright, next we're going to be talking about the bane of a lot of United players' existences, Umbreon. It has had many nerfs this patch, in fact there's 3, and the very first one is to Snarl, since it has had its special attack and attack reduction ratio decreased by 25%. Next up we have Meanlook, which has had its aerial effect decreased from 5 meters to 4 meters, and its cooldown has been increased from 8 seconds to 9 seconds. Alright, so the Snarl nerf is amazing, it makes it a little bit easier to knock out Umbreon. However, I do believe the Meanlook nerfs are more important, since Meanlook is a move that traps you in place, you can't escape in and out, you can't use your movement abilities to get out. Umbreon does not have to attack you after it Meanlooks you, it can use it to set up eliminations for teammates, or it can also use it to disengage, because when you're trapped, you can't really chase it around. So these two nerfs to Meanlook, its cooldown and its area effect going down, are really welcome additions. Alrighty, the next character that has been hit with a nerf is Inteleon, and it's only 1 to its Snipe Shot. It says right here that the damage has been decreased from 10% to around the 7%. I'm assuming this depends on the level that you're in. Inteleon is a character that has a huge impact in the mid-game, so I really hope that this nerf makes it a little bit easier to handle. Next up, we have a lot of Unite players' worst nightmare, that being Clefable. First of all, Moonlight has been nerfed, having its healing decreased by 10% to around 17% depending on your level. And the second move that has been nerfed is Gravity, having its cooldown increased from 8 seconds to around 9 seconds. Clefable is a monster of a character. It has a very similar issue to Umbreon, where it is extremely hard to KO. It has access to Gravity, so it can shut down your moves, and it also has access to Moonlight, so it heals itself and nearby allies constantly. So these nerfs are more than welcome. Alrighty, we're about to get into Broken EX number 3, Miraidon. Miraidon has received 3 nerfs to 3 of its moves. The very first one is Charge Beam, having its damage reduced by 13% to around 16% depending on your level. Next up on its move pool, we have Thunder, having its cooldown increased from 8 seconds to 10 seconds, which is a really good nerf. And the speed reduction after you get hit by the Thundercloud has been decreased from 30% to 10%. And the plus version of Thunder is also receiving a nerf, going down from 50% to around a 20% movement speed decrease when it hits an opposing Pokemon. Okay, so Miraidon followed the trend for EX Pokemon. It came out, it was extremely strong, it was able to deal massive amounts of damage from a very safe distance. On top of that, it was able to control a lot of space using Thunder, and the slowdown was way too good. These nerfs are going to make it a lot more manageable, and we are definitely going to see the other build a whole lot more. Alrighty, all of those were the nerfs this patch, let's get right into the buffs. The very first characters we're going to be talking about is Scizor and Scyther, receiving 3 buffs. The very first buff we're going to be talking about is Swords Dance, having its attack increase go up from 12% to around 20%. Next up, we have Scyther's Double Hit, going up in damage by 10%. Then we have Scyther's Boosted Attack, increasing his movement speed by 40%, it used to be 35%, and the duration for that movement speed increase has gone up from 2 seconds to 3 seconds. Alright, so these were some really good buffs. You know how many people pick Scizor over Scyther? I really hope these buffs incentivize people to pick Scyther more, because I barely see him, if at all. So hopefully, this gives us a little bit more variety in our games. Next up, we have the classic, the one and only Charizard, having its basic attack increased by 12%. Now Charizard, any buffs that I see on him are awesome, just because Charizard is a character that came out a very long time ago, if I'm not mistaken is a character that came out on release, and it has kind of been overshadowed by a bunch of the newer releases, so I really hope this makes people pick Charizard a little bit more. He's still going to be pretty hard to play just because of how the meta is nowadays, but I do hope to see more Charizard players in our lanes. Okay, the next buff is kind of funny, and it's to Greedent's Bullet Seed, having its damage increased by 15%. Okay, so Greeting is kind of weird because he doesn't really play Unite normally. He plays by his own rules. It's kind of like Sableye, and it is a character that you don't really see much nowadays just because there are so many other defenders that are much better. You have Umbreon, you have Blastoise, these top tier defenders that have a lot more impact. So hopefully this makes Greedent picked up a little bit more. It's still not going to be as good as all the other defenders, but it's definitely going to be a step towards the right direction. Alright, getting over to the bug fixes, the very first ones are to Muscle Band. Fix the issue with Scyther's boosted attack, activating Muscle Band twice. Fix the issue with Hoopa's unbound basic attack, which only activated Muscle Band once when it hit a single Pokemon. And they are planning to fix several other issues with Muscle Band in the future. Other bug fixes are: fix the issue with Gengar's Will-O-Wisp not reducing the cooldown for Hex. Fix the issue with Leafeon, which could use a basic attack immediately after using Aerial Ace's empowered basic attack. Fix the issue with Trevenant's Hornleech missing the final knockup. Fix the issue with Blaziken's Overheat changing directions while it was charging. And fix the issue with the low volume of sound effects for Pokemon's moves. Alright, all of those were the buffs, nerfs, and bug fixes. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, and if you really enjoyed it, leave a sub, and I'll be seeing you guys in Unite. See ya.